I'm not going to get into any technical aspects of the fire, but I am out here to say thank you to all the first responders that have worked diligently through the evening, through the night to get this fire, to work on putting this fire out. We've had a lot of people on the scene and working very diligently, and they've done great at keeping us informed and trying to get the information out to us as this process has progressed. And I know that there's 10 different agencies that have been involved in this to try to get this under control, and we're just grateful because they've been out here protecting property and trying to get this under containment. So for that, I'd like to personally thank each and every one of the first responders that have worked so hard through the night. And as a community, I encourage our citizens to put their thanks out there on Facebook or social media as well, showing how much we appreciate all the work that's been done here tonight, or through the night, and also that's ongoing through the day. So that being said, that's all I really had to say, and I want to thank everybody again.
Do you want to give any reassurances to the residents of Rio Rancho?
Yeah, at this point in time, we're in great hands with the first responders that are on scene, putting out the fire. We've got the the wildlife. I'm sorry, Chief. Let me get this real quick. What's the response out here? The wildland response team.
Yes, the wildland strike team.
Okay,
and we've got a lot of resources, which Marc can get into those.
So you've got the wildland response team out here. They've been keeping all the structures in the area. At no time were any structures that I'm aware of threatened. But the assurances is we're in great hands, and they're going to. I feel confident that this will be resolved very quickly. Any other questions for me? Okay, great. Thanks.
All right, so we'll switch over the mics. Next up will be Battalion Chief Marc Sandoval from Rio Rancho Fire. He's been the incident commander on this, and he'll be giving you guys the briefs. Marc Sandoval, Battalion Chief for Rio Rancho Fire.
And if you could just spell your name for us.
Okay, Marc, M-A-R-C, and then Sandoval, like the county, S-A-N-D-O-V-A-L.
And what was your title?
Battalion Chief, Rio Rancho Fire Department.
Okay, good.
Okay. So again, my name is Marc Sandoval. I'm the incident commander of the Encino Fire. The fire started yesterday around 12:45. I arrived on scene around 1:20. When I got there, it was around 50 to 60 acres. It was started heading north towards the Pueblo. Once it got almost to the Pueblo, it made a right-hand turn and kind of made a U-turn and started heading south towards the Rio Rancho, towards Tortino Road and Progress. From there, we stopped it using a bulldozer and air resources from the Forest Service, and we stopped it on that southeast corner, and then we progressed to go north, and then we kind of made a big box. The dozer line was completed last night at 2:30 in the morning, and then right now we're kind of going from the dozer line inside and starting hitting the hot spots. So that's kind of a brief description. I'll go in a little bit more detail right now. So first thing I want to do is thank all the resources that came in on Father's Day to help me put this fire out. So we had the U.S. Forest Service, the Bureau of Land Management, Southern Pueblo Agency, Corrales Fire Department, Rio Rancho Fire Department, Sandoval County Fire Department, the Sheriff's Department, Sandoval County Sheriff's Department, Bernalillo County Sheriff's Department, and U.S. Forest Service. And if I missed anybody, I'm sorry, but thank you for coming out here. So right now, the fire was in pinon, juniper, and grass. It's at 1,250 acres. It's 60% contained. We have a total of 59 personnel working on the scene right now. We had one structure threatened, and that structure was out of the picture roughly an hour to 2 hours into that fire. We had dozer line moved around that structure, so it was no risk after the first 2 hours of it. We did not have any evacuations or an order for evacuations happen at any time during this fire. The only people that we move out for a cautious measure was the people at the gun range shooting at the gun range. We wanted them out of the area for in case something drastically happened with the winds. Right now we have 3 engines, 3 tenders, 2 hand crews, 1 dozer, and 2 helicopters currently assigned to this fire. We released most of the air resources this morning after I did a fly over the fire, so they could be available for for any other fires that are outside of our area, and they can do initial response. There was no injuries, there was no fatalities on this fire. No structures were lost. And we're currently under investigation of how this fire started. We do believe that it was not naturally made, but that's as far as I could go into the investigation part. We do have a federal investigator doing the investigation now, and I'm sure he'll give a release later on down the road. Another thing, this is our second fire we've had over here in the past week. We had the last one last Tuesday, and then we had one yesterday on Sunday. So I'm just asking people if they see anybody with any type of suspicious activity to call our dispatch center, and that's just to have them call 911 and give them the information that they have if anything is suspicious. So I stand for questions now if anybody has any.
You were going over a lot of numbers as far as the resources. Do you have a dollar amount for what it took to get this fire under control?
No, I don't track the dollar amount. I'm sorry.
One question about the vehicle you mentioned as you were going through. What is a tender?
Okay, water tender is like a big water truck that can move water. They have like 3,000, 4,000 gallons of water that can move, say, from this site over to where our brush trucks are, like the little engines on the Ford pickup trucks, and they can shuttle water back and forth so we can fill them up.
And the fire right now, is it completely out? Is it just a couple acres left?
We're at 60% contained. We're still trying to work around it. That containment's going to go up later on in the day. We do have plans, if nothing drastically happens, that we'll turn it over to State Forestry and start reducing the resources. We did camp overnight, and we did have resources work throughout the night, and then we released them this morning at 6:30.
The structure that was threatened, was that a house?
It looked like a primary building on the southeast side of the building. It looked like a mobile home with like a carport. Yes.
How far is from where we are right now to where the blazes contain?
So if you go down this road, it's about a 10 to a 15-minute drive. So, maybe 4 miles, 4 or 5 miles. It was far away from Northern Meadows, and I can get you information and then email you a map where the fire exactly was, where the correlation between where the fire is and then where Northern Meadows is at.
Do you have a guideline that you followed as to how close the fire line needs to get before you start asking people to pack up and
Yes,
evacuate?
when we're doing our strategic plans, we have these map action plans. We call them maps. If we reach to a certain point, then we know, okay, we need to start evacuating or ask the residents to evacuate their houses. But yeah, we do that when we're strategizing about the fire and where it could go and the potentials that it could have.
How close does it need to get to any kind of large area?
It's hard to, we can't generalize it. It's based on terrain, it's based on canyon winds, it's based on how the fire is progressing. If it's kind of backing and moving slowly to the house, then that action point is going to be a little bit further to the house, as opposed if it's down canyon, down winds, and it's moving pretty quick. So it's hard to say on a particular house how close it has to get.
How big were the flames, yes sir?
They were up to 8 to 10 feet when it hits one of those the pinon trees. It'll torch that tree out and be 10, 15 feet, and then they'll come back down. The grass was about 2-3 feet off the ground, so we could have 5 to 6 foot flame lengths coming off that grass.
Does it spread a little bit easier with the grasses?
It spreads fast with the grass, so as opposed to sitting in the forest, it'll hit up on the forest and kind of chew its way slowly in the forest. And the forest is sheltered; it's not getting the winds down on the ground level. But with it open like this and the wind blowing, that grass kind of feeds it, and it goes pretty quick in the grass.
Do you have an approximation of how fast it was moving at its biggest point?
I would have to go back and set up a bunch of calculations and figure out how fast it was going. I just know it was quick, but regular speed for a grass fire, if that makes any sense to you. It wasn't above and beyond what a grass fire would be in the winds that it was in. Nothing kind of crazy about it like that. Oh, fireworks, yes. So the 4th of July is coming right around the corner. We know it's dry outside. The relative humidity yesterday was at 10%. If you're trying to correlate on the humidity, the dry fuel moistures, think of the lumber that you have at Lowe's and Home Depot. So the fuels out here are drier than what you're getting buying the lumber at the Home Depot and the Lowe's stores. So it's really dry out here. Cautious is don't have any aerial fireworks that are they're illegal in Rio Rancho. They're only allowed in fountain fireworks, and to keep the area clear of any grass, shrubs, bushes around where they're lighting the fireworks off. what we need is a fire. One is a brush fire inside the city, and two, if we get a fire into the bosque, and that's going to create a bigger mess than what we want to deal with on 4th of July.
Good.
Thank you. Okay.
You may have mentioned this.